Good morning, and it seems that recently in my videos, I have been able to successfully catch the attention of thousands of audiences per night, especially with my running videos against cars, where I beat a Volkswagen, where I was 1.5 seconds to 2.2 seconds ahead of entire batch of cars once the traffic light went green, beat the brown Corolla. There was a black vehicle, perhaps a Chevy Cruiser, a black one, and that I beat, in which the video was malfunctioned. So anyways, I'm also a writer. I do creative writings. Many of you perhaps seen my videos on creative writing and scholarship essay writing on the net, in TikTok, perhaps even in Instagram and other places. So today I would like to actually start by explaining my creative writing works and posting my videos on YouTube. Here's the thing: if you have plagiarized or copied off my work, you'll get caught today, because my work comes with my explanatory notes. Like Shakespeare or the greatest writers who once they when their writings were done, many scholars, including the authors of that standard or that era, had their explanatory notes. So if you just copied off my work, if for whatever purpose, and you pretend to say that this is my work to impress perhaps even ladies, you'll get caught today, because you don't have the explanatory notes. So let's start with conquering curses. It is one of my creative writing samples that I have also turned into my schools for viewing. So conquering curses begins with the phrase "speech to the angels, archangels, and demons." What kind of father watches his son bleed to death on a cross? And this is not, it is symbolic to Christ. It's as if on a third person view, a person is asking, what kind of father, watches his son die bleeding on a cross? And this is not only to that matter, it's also to all those fathers who willingly sacrifice their sons, because sons are precious, so are daughters. But it's to sacrifice a son in cruel manner, the most unpleasant manners of persecution or torment would mean a great loss for the world, perhaps even the universe, perhaps even heavenly bodies and celestial beings. So here's the question: what kind of father watches his son bleed to death on a cross? So I, as a third person, with Christ standing on my side, I would like to ask him, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, why hast thou forsaken me? What kind of guardian or friend watches his most loyal, faithful, and righteous messengers get stoned to death? Once again, a question is asked towards God, that why are all your messengers, whether it be Bible, whether it be Ramayana, and how in the story of Ramayana, the son who was the incarnation of God was stoned, and all these prophets were stoned. I mean, what was going on? Where's the protection? Where was the security? And then so this is technically writing, a creative writing. It's kind of like a revolutionary writing. It's just like a revolt. It's against faulty, unruly, mistaken persecution that takes place on people who are actually good. So tonight I ascend unto thee, O soldiers of the heavenly and celestial bodies. So here I am, the explanatory note is, I'm saying tonight I'm going to go up in the heaven and meet up with my heavenly army, and angels, archangels, even demons, and and we we will meet in the upper second heaven and take the Father down. So here we have we're trying to conquer heaven here, because this judgment is faulty. Because whoever's making the judgment, whether it's the Father or somebody on behalf of him, whether he or she is a secretary of God, like in, like in like if you look at certain religions, especially in Hinduism, there's a divine being that writes scriptures, who coordinates plans for God, who writes man's destiny, um, and that sort of thing. I would not go into much details on that. Although I do know what it is. Let's just keep it simple for students who want to understand my work. And I am Ehsan Ahmed. You can reach me at EHSANAHMEDNISHU42 for any further questions and investigations into creative writing samples which I have created in order to have me assess and answer all your queries or investigations that you might have onto my work. These are creative writing samples, and I hope you understand and comply with them. So then we will take the Father down because of his judgment, because his judgment is faulty. And then we reestablish a new universal order without pain, sorrow, suffering, and death. So now we are establishing a new universal order where there's no pain, there's no death, there's no sorrow. It's all happy, happy, because to foreshadow and imply and conclude in God's way of judgment and ruling everything. It seems that God has ups and downs, roller coasters. Sometimes he gives you a lot of pain, sometimes he gives you happiness, sometimes it's all pain, no happiness, sometimes it's happiness even though you don't deserve it. It's saying that no, we don't want that. We want a justice system that is justifiable. And we eradicate the old faulty laws and set everyone free. So the old laws will no longer be available. It is kind of like Christ. Christ would say, I set everyone free. The laws are no longer valid. Eve Shukrat Bahim. And at this time, I am summoning all the demons, whether they're unruly or ruly or good or bad. And it's not always about one certain scripture that I go through. I know all the languages of the world. I know all the scriptures of the world. I have read 40,000 plus books. So technically speaking, if Eve Shukrat Rahim means to get the good jinns under your command. So Eve Shukrat Bahim, all obedient jinns, asuras, and demons, I am now in control of thyself, and these shall be obedient only unto me. So I am now in control of the jinns, as well as the archangels and the angels are listening. Angels and demons, now that I have your full attention and support, we take Abba Father down, and I conquered the throne. So now we all are standing side by side. The archangels and the angels and the demons have taken position to revolt against God, to revolutionize themselves against God, who is making faulty judgments, or perhaps gods who are making faulty judgments. One moment. Zeus, Horus, Osiris, Shiv, and Vishnu needs to be captured. These gods are not performing properly. As I look at the imbalance of the planet and the universe, I can tell that they're not doing their job properly. Archangels and Satan's commanders, I rank and designate thee. Michael, general. Uriel, Lieutenant General; Raphael, Major General; Gabriel, Brigadier General; Arakiel, Brigadier; Armaros, Colonel; Barakiel, Lieutenant Colonel; Chezekiel, Major; Kokabiel, Abaddon, Beelzebub, Belial; Ramil are captains; Samil, Azazel, Asmodeus, and Mammon are lieutenants. So the four main archangels, where Michael is a general, Uriel is a lieutenant general, Raphael is a major general, and Gabriel is a brigadier general. So if you look at if you look at the sequencing, the order of the ranking here, you'll see that I made a perfect descending or ascending ranks in the military as they use it. This is to say that yes, I do have ideas on every subject of the world. When I say I can write an essay or do a creative writing on anything, just like in moments, as soon as you give me the subject, I mean exactly that in any language of the world. For Eve and her daughters seek to trick and mock against me. Now, there are at this time, as Eve was the one who was tricked, and then she tricked against Adam by providing the apple, according to the biblical studies. So her daughters started to mock and trick me as well. Some of them, not all of you. They are treacherous and transgressors. So they are committing sins. The certain most daughters of Eve are committing sin. I shall send them two headhunters, Asmodeus and Azazel. So Asmodeus and Azazel, these are Satan's commanders, and they will now deal with the treacherous ones, the ones that are so the devil will deal with the devil now on behalf of my command. When Father took away the long-awaited soulmate chosen by the celestial stars in an auspicious moment found once in 50 millennium. So for me, love is not like, like you modern people. It's not like you go out in the club, you meet a girl, and then next morning you meet another one, and then afternoon. My love for a soulmate, it's for like 50 millennium. I had to wait for that lady to come in to my life, and God as Father, or the Heavenly Father, or universal or worldly fathers, whoever it is that you might put it together, they took it away. So when Father took away the long-awaited soulmate chosen by the celestial stars in an auspicious moment found once in 50 millennium. So the time was right, the 50 millennium that I waited, and that was my love, it was taken away. I chose to remain virgin and forsook Eve's daughters, and thereunto not having offspring, I technically sacrificed my firstborn. So here's what. So after my love was taken away, I chose to be a virgin, and I said no to every lady in the universe, and therefore my offspring, my child, was technically sacrificed because I never had a lady in my life. My firstborn was sacrificed, and Brahma, or Abraham, will never let my sacrifice go vain. Now, the prophet Abraham, if you study his history from different lexicons and different scriptures, you'll see that some of his followers went down the Indus River, and what they did was, once they went down to Indus River, their followers, according to that language, Sanskrit, was called Brahma Rishi, which means Abraham's prophets, and Abraham in short is Brahma. So instead of listening and following the orders of the prophet Abraham, what the residents of or the civilization of Indus River did was they started worshiping him as a god, and they shortened his name into Brahma instead of Abraham. This could, if you look at it technically, it could be a distortion of actual scriptures. Once again, I'm saying, so this Abraham, or this God Brahma, will never let my sacrifice go vain. So he will look at that sacrifice. He will give me a blessing, a boon, where this sacrifice is not going to vain. Okay, and so this sacrifice won't be like it has meanings to it. It won't be like, oh, he sacrificed, well, forget him then. Just like the game, just like he gave the monster with 10 heads, Ravana, immortality. So there was a monster, demon, a very strong one. He had 10 heads in the Hindu mythological epical poetries of Ramayana, and he was called Ravana. He had 10 heads and he was immortal. He wasn't supposed to die. It took God, and God came down the sky in incarnation of the Prince Ram, and took this demon down. And so it actually took God for God to come down from the sky in a reincarnated form. And God has many reincarnated forms throughout the history of mankind and civilizations. And if you look at different scriptures, I'm also, being a virgin, and protected against harm and death. So here, chastity and virginity is portrayed as it's something like a person who is a virgin, he will not die or resurrect or has a wishful death boon. So technically speaking, if you look at the two personnels who were virgin in history, in religious scriptures, one was the son of the river Ganges, and his name was Bhishma, or Devrata, or also known as Pitama, and he wouldn't die because he had a wishful death boon, which means I'm a virgin, I don't get to die until I want to die. And then Christ was a virgin, and he resurrected after the third day, according to the scriptures, or did not die at all, ascended to heaven. And so therefore, virgins have a choice here, where they, according to the scriptures of God, from different aspects, they don't die at all. And that is what I'm saying here. I'm also being a virgin and protected against harm and death. If I don't love, I get to live. A brilliant, incomplete sacrifice with the alibi. So here I have an alibi. I did not get to love. Now I get to live. So I have a choice now. You did not let me love, so why not I get to live? And at that point, it's like a brilliant yet incomplete sacrifice. Sacrifice that it is not technically a sacrifice, but it is a sacrifice, and it's a brilliant one. I want Belial and Beelzebub to take the firstborns of all pharaohs and Eve's daughters for the torment, corruption, and persecution they have caused on earth. So we have unruly rulers throughout the history, whether it's modern era of today, in the past, in the present, or in the future, and there will be, they have their firstborns, then they are even more unruly, whereas other people in the world are starving of death, and they're causing corruption and transgression. And then there's the daughters of Eve that are involved in all sorts of criminal activities, especially nowadays. They call it scam, spam, whatever, and there's prostitution, and there's all sorts of crimes that even females commit, and so their firstborns will be sacrificed. So technically speaking, it is a biblical curse. It is not, I'm not saying that I'm cursing, I'm just using a biblical, literally terminology, phrase, or sentence to, curse the corruption and the transgression that is going on our planet, on our earth, to remind them of the warnings that God once gave to the Pharaoh and the daughters and the children of Eve. And this was actually taken from Genesis, Exodus, the first five books of Moses. These curses are from that area, and that reminds you, according to the scripture, that this is how it used to be back in those days. Because back in those days, we did not have justice system like we have today. We didn't have police. We didn't have proper soldiers who would go out there, fight a war for the cause of actual liberty and peace and what is good and what is right. And so moving on to that, I'm sending Belial and Beelzebub. These are two of the lieutenants, the cursed lieutenants, and they will be dealing with corruption and persecution caused on earth. Let the 10 biblical plagues of Egypt and the 4 horsemen of apocalypse with the kraken be unleashed to bring upon mayhem the evil world deserves. So at this time, there will be forces unleashed in this creative writing sample, and the forces are the 10 biblical plagues of Moses' time, and the 4 horsemen of apocalypse with all the war that is going on, world wars, and the kraken would come out from the sea, and they will be unleashed to bring upon mayhem. So they will cause their own destruction on the evil world that the evil world deserves. Now, we will now go on to different languages, language usage. As you know, I speak all the languages of the world, and I'm a translator, a professional one, and I have written many books. Unfortunately, people don't find them amusing because they're into, like in today's world, the less intellectual you are, the higher you'll go. I mean, all you have to do is corrupt, and there's money, 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 money. So nobody wants to publish my work. They just want to steal it from me. However, we have YouTube nowadays, and we can post it there, and you can read it off there. So we are now saying, "बहुत जल्द हजारों साल पुराना पुरान मासी की रात आएगी, O Nagraj mujhe nagmani do." So that would be translated as so very soon, 1,000 millennium old full moon night or blood moon night will come. And O serpent king. Now, in technical terms, serpents have been worshipped in many religions, whether it be Amazon, whether it be Indus River, whether it be in other places, even in other religions. They happen to have the actual king of the snakes happen to have this crystal with it's like it's a crystal stone with amazing powers of its own, and once you have obtained this crystal, you can control the universe. So I want that crystal to come to full power. Mujhe Nagmani chahiye. So very soon, thousands-year-old full moon will rise, and I expect to obtain that snake crystal. And then I go on to say, then I say Eve Shukrat Bahim again, which means, the control of all the demons. And on the full moon, the blood moon night, and the full moon night, when the two lunar events actually collide with each other, and after thousands or millions of millennia, a proper moment is created, and the light of the moon shines upon the snake crystal or the serpent king's crystal. I would like to grab that crystal, and I'll take control of it. And from there, we say Fauladi Shaitan ko jagao. So another demon will be added to the army for the revolution, which is called the Fauladi Shaitan. It is a stone demon. It's 3 stories high, and what it does is it crushes civilizations under its feet. It is made of stone. It has glowing white and blue eyes. Well, I hope you enjoyed my one of my creative writing sample works for today. I will be posting more soon with explanatory notes. No need to copy me. Do not plagiarize, because you don't know what I mean by what I write. Only I can explain it, and only I can tell you what it is. Thank you. My name is Ehsan Ahmed, and I have given you my email address, which is E like Echo, H like Hotel, S like Sierra, A like Alpha, N like November, A like Alpha, H like Hotel, M like Mike, E like Echo, D like Delta, N like November, I like India, S like Sierra, H like Hotel, U like Uniform, 42@gmail.com. And yes, once again, there will be more creative writing samples posted today with essay sample examples, and therefore poetries will be online pretty soon. Please keep your eyes on YouTube. I absolutely appreciate the fact that my me against the Volkswagen, me running, sprinting against the Volkswagen video got more than 2,000 views in one night or one day. The other running videos have received above 300 views in less than an hour. Thank you very much, viewers. Please keep your eyes on my channel. Thank you. I'm coming up with other writing samples pretty soon. Creative writing, poetries, stories, documentary writings. Thank you very much.